Okay. I'm pretty sure the Julia ending here is reaching its conclusion. We did get laid, right? Yeah. There we go. And I brought the sleeping Julia to my cabin. She was surprisingly light. I put her on a bed, collapsed beside her and closed my eyes. But all my attempts to get to sleep failed. I felt a terrible thirst. Quietly, so as not to wake up Julia, I got out of bed, pulled on my shorts, and went outside. Yeah, I always get super thirsty as well after the deed. On the way to the washstands, I thought about everything that had happened. I didn't care about whether it was right or not. No, that wasn't the main issue. Yeah, right? That is the problem I have with this language, this type of language, right? The ethical problem I have with it. I didn't care about whether it was right or not. No, that wasn't the main issue, right? It looks like objective morality, right? That is why I don't like the language. Saying right or wrong in ethics discussions. He's not treating it as his subjective value judgment. That is not what he's saying. Not at all. He's saying, he's looking at it as if it were objective morality. And I do not like that. It's like you need to answer. Like no one has answered Hume's guillotine yet. No one has. It's just the way of it. You need to answer it, and I'm pretty sure that you won't. Like, not only do, like, metaphysically, like, logically, you can't derive an ought from an is, but also, like, my own view on it, my own emotional reaction to it is that, man, it's way better if there is no objective morality, because if there were objective morality and we didn't know, because we don't know, right? That's, people don't agree. If there were and we didn't agree, then that would be super horrible. Like, for example, if the Christian ethics were real and I would go to hell, I feel like that's terrible. Like, most people would go to hell. I'm pretty sure that I haven't read the Bible enough, but I heard someone say that you're not supposed to use cotton. Or something like that. And does everyone who uses cotton without... Yeah, are they going to hell? I wouldn't know. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the rules are. The cotton was just an example, right? Oh, he did elder attempt number 3 is why Banana Waffle Monkey went. Be right back. Exciting stuff. I decided that I just didn't have any other choice in that situation. Yeah, he's taking a deterministic view on life. He is here. More important, there are possible consequences. Even if Julia was a little different from me, we could say she was closer to who or what was behind all this. Just because she knows more than me. Well, I mean... It's kind of like what she has been saying is that he is the central point of the thing, right? That is what she's been telling him. But it doesn't seem to understand that he is the center of the whole thing. Which means, however, blindly assuming or drawing conclusions about anything is a difficult task in this camp. I was sure of that by now. Oh yeah, the camp doesn't only, like, his mind has been affected, right? That is what he said. And he said that before, like in the other ending, how difficult it was to... He like explained himself why he's been nagging and nagging about finding answers, but never trying to. He said that this camp somehow mind controls him, right? I quenched my thirst and washed myself. I was going back to the camp leader's cabin, whistling a piece from Peer Gynt by Grieg. Man, I haven't listened to Grieg in ages. When somebody called out to me, oh, it's the pioneer. How did you... I jumped on the spot, turned and saw the silhouette of that pioneer. There was no chance of seeing his face clearly in the darkness. So it is you again. Who? Me? Not in the sense that I am the one that you'd already seen, but in the sense of who, in fact, am I? I don't understand. I remember that Julia told me that he can't do me any physical harm, and I calmed down a bit. Oh, whatever. Besides, I saw how you were getting it on back there. That gave me the heebie-jeebies. No matter how fantastic a situation is, it's always frustrating when you're caught doing something so intimate. Yeah, boundaries. They're called boundaries. Like, you don't just stare at someone being in the bathroom bathing naked, right, Semyon? Right? Exactly. Didn't anyone ever tell you that it's not polite, that it's not nice to spy on people? You're upset. No, why would I be? I snorted and half turned towards him, trying in vain to see his face. And what has the cat-eared told you? She has a name. I felt a strong attachment to Julia, so I didn't hesitate to stand up for her. A name? And what is it? An almighty observer? The double-faced Janus? Didn't know that reference, the double-faced Janus. From GoldenEye, James Bond movie. Saw that when I was a kid. Julia, I said a bit uncertainly. Julia? He started laughing like a horse on meth. And who gave it to her? You, probably. Fine, tell me what you want and then get lost. Okay, your majesty, just don't get angry, he bowed awkwardly. The sight was so grotesque that even I shuddered. And what has the so-called Julia told you? I decided there was no point in hiding the information that I found out recently. He told me that there are many other camps. That you are the same as me, and that after 7 days we'll leave and never come back. Oh, good morning, Colgatin on tap. Nice to see you again. If it really frustrated Semyon, Colgatin on tap says, he wouldn't have done it in public. I guess he isn't entirely honest to himself about his kinks. Well, I mean, in public, there's no one else there. They are all alone, so I wouldn't call this public anymore. I mean, just doing it outside doesn't make it public. I don't think. No. Yeah, I kind of have that kink, I think, just doing it outside. Not in public. I wouldn't want people watching. No. But just different places. I like going to different places. Welcome back, Node Runner. So, you left quite abruptly, Node Runner. We were like in the middle of a conversation. I feel like the last thing that happened was me not understanding your point about open sourcing everything, because I'm for open sourcing most things. It says apparently CD Projekt Red was hacked. Oh? That's interesting. Colgate InnoTap said he met Mad Semyon before, so he knew he wasn't alone. Yeah, but also Mad Semyon is kind of a ghost, right? Can show up anywhere at any place. Like, he hasn't physical form, right? So in public is probably everywhere, right? Wouldn't you agree that, like, it wouldn't matter if they went into a cabin and went into a pool or went anywhere? What do we have here? Oh, wow. Oh, it's their Twitter has been... Yesterday we discovered that we have become a victim of a targeted cyber attack, due to which some of our internal systems have been compromised. An unidentified actor gained unauthorized access to our internal network, collected certain data being... here we go. Belonging to CD Projekt Capital Group, and left a ransom note on the content of which we released to the public. Although some devices in our network have been encrypted, our backups remain intact. We've already secured our IT infrastructure and begun restoring data. We will not give in to the demands nor negotiate with the actor, being aware that this may eventually lead to the release of the compromised data. We are taking necessary steps to mitigate the consequences of such a release, in particular by approaching any parties that may be affected due to the breach. We are still investigating the incident. However, at this time we can confirm that, to our best knowledge, the compromised systems did not contain any personal data of our players or users of our services. We have already approached the relevant authorities, including law enforcement and the president of the Personal Data Protection Office, as well as IT forensic specialists, and we will closely cooperate with them in order to fully investigate this incident. Good on you. Good response to this, I think. Node Runner informs me and helps me out. You can click on it to make it bigger, Thanks, Node Runner. Took a little bit longer. I did it, said Banana Wolf Monkey. He did it. He was the one hacking CD Projekt Red. No? Oh, no. First ever Uber Elder kill. Congratulations. Really good job, Banana Wolf Monkey. These totems are really doing their work for you, eh? And this league is doing its work for you. Very good. Uber Elder. Nice. Very nice. Colgate InnoTap says, I don't know, Semyon should try to lick his eyeballs to see whether he is a ghost. I agree with that. Licking his eyeballs might be a rough thing to do, but just try to touch him, right? See what happens. Banana Waffle Monkey says the damage was always there. The hard part is how mechanical the fight is. You have to fight Elder and Shaper at the same time. That is rough, it sounds. The ransom note is included. They suggest that they have some interesting source code. Oh, nice. Colgate InnoTap says, oh, that one works too. I didn't think about it. Like, first go for the lick in the eyes and then just trying to touch. Alright, hello CD Projekt. You have been epically pawned. We have dumped full copies of the source codes from your Perforce server for Cyberpunk 2077, Witcher 3, Gwent, and the unreleased version of Witcher 3. We have also dumped all of your documents relating to accounting, administration, legal, HR, investor relations, and more. Also, we have encrypted all your servers. But we understand that you most likely can recover from backups. If we will not come to an agreement, then your source codes will be sold or leaked online, and your documents will be sent to our contacts in gaming journalism. Your public image will go down the shitter even more, and people will see how shitty your company functions. Well, that is no news though, how shitty the company functions. Investors will lose trust in your company and the stock will dive even lower. You have 48 hours to contact us. And how would they contact them? Like, you have 48 hours to contact whom? I mean, since CD Projekt did this, it's just like, no, fuck this. We're public. We just put everything into the public and say, oh, we've asked for help. So, like, CD Projekt not showing how to contact these hackers is a mistake. They should have shown everything if this is not some kind of hoax. But this seems way too elaborate for CD Projekt right now. Like they say, CD Projekt has some problems with their public image at the moment, and pulling this shit like a prank or something wouldn't really make any sense for CD Projekt at this moment. So, Banana Waffle Monkey says that Elder has a circle you have to stay in, because if you're outside of it, there's an explosion that one-shots you. Ugh. And while you do that, the Shaper shoots a giant black beam, so you have to be able to kite that while staying within the circle. Oof. So you have to be within a confined space, dodging attacks, and if you go outside, it's not like a wall, but you can die. So you're confined, but you yourself have to control the confinement, so to speak. And there's these giant black balls that occasionally chase you. You either have to avoid popping them until they poof on their own, or you have to drag them to a corner so they pop out of the way. If they pop, they drop a ground degeneration thing that lasts the entirety of the fight until they die. Wait. Nodrunner says we don't negotiate with terrorists. Well, I mean, that's just an extremist point of view. We don't negotiate with terrorists. But it is working though. I know that, I don't know if I told you, I worked within the prisons in Sweden. And they just went out and made them like, we will never, ever, ever negotiate or talk with any kidnappings going on in Swedish prisons. And since then, there have been none. It wasn't very common. Weren't very common at all. But since that, it has, like, the stats has dropped. On the other hand, that could be just propaganda. I don't know. It was data from within the prison system, right? So I would assume they wouldn't lie about it, but Banana Waffle Monkey says, so if you accidentally pop the ball in the wrong spot and the Elder does his circle and the Shaper beams, you're screwed. Yeah, you're screwed. Just screwed. That's rough. Black hat hackers, eh? Why aren't they hacking like someone else? There's so many better companies to hack. I mean, video games. I mean, they... like gaming companies and the crunch thing is under scrutiny right now. And that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. Like, lowering crunch. But like, if you're... well, those are... yeah, they're all black hat hackers. They only care about the payday, right? They don't care about the ethics behind their actions. That's sad. Node Runner says, I got this Comet 64 programming game. Pretty fun. Comet 64. Never heard of it. What's that? Comet 64. February 1984, eh? Atari. Sounds interesting. Banana Waffle Monkey says, hackers? In your corridors? That is more likely than you think. Maybe, I suppose. Node Runner says, this is totally a floppy drive music. Yeah. Node Runner says it's the #1 game for me on the new and trending list on Steam. Seems like Steam has a good algorithm, right? Seems like a Linux programming nerd game, right? Alright, so... we took a bit of a sidetrack. That's fine. She told me that there are many other camps. There are... that you are the same as me and that after 7 days we'll even never come back, right? It was disgusting for me to be in the same boat as him, but a fact was still a fact, if you say so. Node Runner says that the beginner puzzles are not too hard so far. I'm guessing like a lot of programming games, they have to start out easy and then like it's a way you learn, right? You both need to learn. You need to start out fairly easy. It's like I was looking into that MMO programming game, Screeps, but I never really got into it. Maybe I should give it a, like, neglected to play, right? Maybe I should give that another try soon. Yes, that's about right. And what did she tell you about herself? Do you think it's any of your business? Besides, surely you know everything without me, says Semyon. Yes, I know something. I've dealt with her before. Right, yes. It's like a Zachtronics kind of game. I don't know what Zachtronics is. It teaches you the skills you need as you play. Ah, there we go. That's a Zachtronics game. So it's a way to learn programming, right? I've thought about that, like, yeah. if there is one thing, I have issues with gamification, the rising popularity of it. Like learning programming, that like a good way to learn some programming stuff is gamification, I think. Like you do learn a little bit from Factorio, which is my favorite game. Gamification, for if you haven't heard about it, it's where it's becoming popular for some bosses or in some certain areas in, I don't know, industry, in like turning a job and gamify it. And when they say gamify, it's about making it into a dopamine pump, like giving you achievements and rewards and stuff like that to make it like similar psychological stimuli as we get from video games. Numbers getting bigger and all that. And I have huge issues with that, because that is like one of the things that I care about politically is stupid jobs, pointless jobs that doesn't fulfill any, from my point of view, doesn't gain society anything. If that makes any sense. Like jobs that just doesn't help, doesn't make life better for anyone. From my point of view. And I feel that there's way too many jobs like that. And I think a lot of people who has that type of job easily become bored and depressed. Like if you feel that what you're doing, spending 8 hours a day with something completely pointless, if that's your feeling, right, that can lead to depression and a lot of different kind of bad feelings. That's not my opinion. That is just how it is. Like, we need to feel valuable. It's good for our mental health, right? So my answer to that problem is let's not have any pointless jobs, while gamification is a different solution to that problem. Like, let's trick the brains of the people that they are doing something meaningful instead of actually giving them something meaningful to do. There we go. That's the way I think about it. Node Runner says that Zachtronics is a game developer. Oh, that popularized this kind of puzzle game. They made SpaceChem, Infinifactory. Oh, that's why I remember the Zachtronics from somewhere. I have looked into SpaceChem. I think I played Infinifactory. I don't remember. Tease 100, Jensen IO, Opus Magnum, Exapunks, Molex Synthes, and probably others. Banana Waffle Monkey says, and you often get called lazy if you don't want to do those jobs. Yeah, right. That's part of like what was he called? She called again the Sophie. What was he called? The Sophie something. Talked about the feminism thing before. Like it's propaganda, right? Propaganda that like if you don't want to do something pointless, then you're lazy. And with the connotations that lazy is something bad. That is why I have issues with that word, because usually where you would call someone lazy, I don't disagree that attitude is something bad. Like it could be considered efficient, like min-maxing is laziness, isn't it? Innovation is based on laziness, isn't it? I think. Pioneer, yes, I know something. I've dealt with her before. His tone was so disgusting that I didn't even want to continue this conversation. Here we go with the mind control again. Well, if you have nothing more to ask him, I'm curious. No, wait a minute. I haven't finished yet. Yes, I agree. Well, maybe that is a good idea to deal with this dude. This dude is obviously crazy. Obviously, right? Obviously. Colgate Inotap says, I have never called anyone lazy, unironically. Oh, I don't have a good enough memory to. I've probably done that, but I wouldn't. Like, well, maybe I would call people lazy, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't use the word because of the negative undertones connected to the word. So that's my problem with the word itself, I guess. I've called myself lazy plenty of times. Trying to, like, from my own definition, maybe that's a dumb idea. Call oneself lazy just because of how it might be interpreted. So what's a replacement word? Can you help me out? What would be a replacement word? Like, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Now what? Want me to tell you what she's hiding from you? Go on. I was sure that Julia had no secrets from me. But in my situation, any information could be useful. Banana Waffle Monkey says, unmotivated is a step up. Yeah. There's a step up. Still, I think a lot of people has a weird attitude to the word motivated as well. No, good step up. I'm not motivated. I'm unmotivated. The motivation isn't, to make it a point of motivation rather than laziness. I like that. I'll try to remember it. Fucking got this little thing on my scarf. Is it called a scarf? Yeah, I think it's called a scarf. I don't like it. I want to get rid of it, but it's stuck. Never come back. No, they do come back, and you come back. At least you did before, says the pioneer. Colgate Innotab says, like Semyon said something about not knitting. Oh, I don't remember that at all. Did Semyon talk about knitting? I don't remember. I don't think people are unmotivated, says Nodrunner. Unless you literally don't get out of bed in the morning, you're motivated by something. Oh, right. I was thinking in connection with a specific thing. Like, I'm not motivated to go out to the snow right now. I don't mean unmotivated, like, maybe that was a misunderstanding from my part, because in my mind I read it unmotivated as I'm not motivated to do X or Y. I'm not motivated to do this silly job. This stupid job or whatever. I'm not motivated to cook food today. Something like that, instead of putting it as a personal trait. Right? You can have different levels of motivations every day, but I would agree with Nodrunner, like zero motivation. That's it more seems like, daily form. There we go. We could like make a general statement about one's motivation. Like, today I'm not motivated to do anything. I can have that feeling, like being sluggish and something like that. Here we go. Colgate Inotap says, does it make him lazy if he doesn't knit a few sweaters every month? If he's not interested in knitting? Exactly. He's not motivated to knit. Does that make him lazy? No, he just have other interests, other motivations. Skorgate in a tab. Nodrunner says, I think people call each other unmotivated in general. Like how you would use lazy as a label. Yeah, you would get into that same problem. I think it's unmotivated is a step up because you can use the motivated lingo to talk about knitting. Right? It's a step up, as Banana Waffle Monkey says, that if I don't knit, calling me lazy is a further stretch, I think, in the normal way of talking about it. So there are still issues, but I would agree that it's a step up. Just arguing semantics. I love arguing semantics. I would prefer unmotivated or talking about motivation rather than laziness, right? And people still would call each other unmotivated in general. And I mean, again, I could see that happening, but I can also make my own definition to be more like the way that's like a general motivational state for some, like not like a binary question, more like a bell curve of motivation. Some days I'm super motivated. Most days my motivation is, I don't know if there will be a bell curve, but I would assume that my motivation every day could be if I would just put a level on it, like 1 to 10, how motivated do I feel today, like in general, to do stuff in general. Or, well, again, I could argue that I'm just equally motivated not to do anything. I'm equally motivated just to watch TV, right? So, unmotivated, it doesn't feel like a general motivation level really works. I'm just motivated to do different things. Nodrunner says, if you don't agree on what words mean, the rest of the discussion is useless. Yes. But I also that is why when I change the definition of a word, that is why I'm hesitant to use lazy, right? And I see issues with unmotivated as well. I would want to have that. That's why I care so much about semantics. That's why I care about, that is one of my special interests, right? Caring about the language that I use, that I can agree with it. Like most people say, oh my god, what does that mean? Right? I'm trying not to say it. I'm still saying it because it's fucking difficult. But I mean, like the general agreement of what those words means are a semantic piece of data that I don't want to say. Just like laziness. Just like my views on democracy, right? I don't agree with like the common sense definition of democracy. But that is also why I bring it up all the time. As soon as I start talking about democracy, I also need to go in and say, this is my definition of democracy. If you want to talk about democracy, we need to agree with how to use these words. Either you need to convince me to change my views on the word democracy, or I need to convince you to change your view on the word democracy for us to be able to talk to it about it, or just postpone, and we can just agree that we talk from your definition or from my definition, right? We can agree to that just to move some sort of discussion moving forward, if that makes sense, Nodrunner. And he says, oh my god, what the hell, damn it. Yeah, interjections, they don't really have a lot of meaning. I guess. They convey a feeling, not a semantic content, I would say. It's just my preference would be to say blood and ashes. Oh, chaos. Something like that. That's just personal preference. I feel that like interjections, yeah, it's emotional content, not semantic content. That's important. So interjections themselves, that are what they called, right? When you just shout something, when you hit your toe against, you step on a Lego or whatnot. You're not trying to convey an idea. Oh, entropy, says Node-Runner. Nice. Oh, entropy. I like that one. Oh, entropy. I'm gonna try to remember that. But it's also like, oh, a theory, says Banana Waffle Monkey. Nice. Nice. I like entropy. Then again, it's super difficult to change those stuff. I've tried at different points in my life to change, but I feel like interjection are contagious. Like lately I've seen, yeah, that's why I've been noticed that, like the interjection, not gonna lie. A lot of people say that and I just feel like, so what, are you usually a liar? But I have that urge of saying it, showing up, like just being contagious from hearing it from so many places. Not gonna lie. I don't want to say that because that I strive after always being honest. I'm not super good at always being honest, but I am kind of good at not lying. I can't even remember the last time I lied. I've been dishonest from time to time, and working on it is a good idea, but I'm pretty good at not lying. Node-Runner says, I love the god of chaos in Hades. He's awesome. Oh, I had always seen it as a she. I don't know why. But yeah, he is awesome. God of chaos. It's like I've wrecked runs just because he showed up. Like, oh, I need to go down here. Like when coming out of, I had like, I don't remember the numbers, but say I had 40 HP and it was like, oh, it's gonna take 20 of my HP. I'm gonna go down there anyway. I'm just gonna go down there anyway. Because both like the style, the voice lines, the mechanic, all of it. I don't understand, says Simon. I did tell you that you had already been here. Wait. If you don't Alright, if you say so. So after 7 days, it doesn't matter whether you leave on a bus or fall asleep in the forest. You will find yourself sitting in the Forten again. But he's just talking about himself. Like our Semyon doesn't have any of those memories. Right? But it is our Semyon that has been, like, our whole playthrough has been the same Semyon, I guess? Node-Runner says they're kind of androgynous. Probably. But very flat-chested, so I think he's a he. Maybe they? Oh, that's also a thing I've been tracking. They made a new word in Swedish for him, her, and then we've got a second gender-neutral third word. I think in English you use they instead of he, she, they. We have a third word that fits nicely in, except for the unfortunate choice that it's hen is the word, so it sounds like you're talking about chickens and stuff like that. But because we say hon for she, han for him, and then hen for they. And I like that language. It enriches the language in my mind. But I still haven't gotten used to it, and this was years ago. But I still haven't gotten used to it. Teaching an old dog to sit. New tricks? I remember. Arsemian have gone through it several times, but doesn't remember, says Colgate in on tap. Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought as well, because he woke up in the other ending. He did remember all of them, right? And all the women from our playthroughs came up to him. Showed up on the doorstep. He has gone through, but he doesn't remember. But this guy has been locked in here for so long, so he has started to remember and now remember everything because he's done it so many more times, I think. Node Runner says, I think every language needs a gender-neutral pronoun because sometimes you just don't know. Yeah, it's like him driving that car over there. You don't see the operator, you just see how the vehicle behaves, and it enriches the language. I wouldn't go as far as say it needs. Like, what do we really need? It becomes weird to talk about what one needs in one's language. I like to be able to express myself. Yeah, I think it'll be helpful. It is helpful, I think. Colgate in on tab says we use se. It's it in informal Finnish, even though we have gender-neutral hen. Oh, it's similar to ours. We just spell it differently. We spell it with an E. Han? Would that be Finnish? Hen. That maybe is Finnish. Hen. Which is very similar to our hen. Node Runner, I think you need the ability to be able to express yourself better. Yeah, there is an implied thing here, right? It's the same as what... yeah, it's like you said. I think you need the ability to be more precise, to express yourself better. I agree with that. Well, I try to aim for it at least. It's so difficult, communication, right? Communication is difficult. So any way we can make it easier, I see as something positive in my life. And I need it, like a personal need. I want it. Might be a better way to express it, I guess. Like, in some situations, you need the ability better. In others, it's like no need to improve. Like interjections, for example. Oh my god, or oh entropy, or blood and ashes. Like that is... I feel like that type of communication we're pretty good at, human beings. We don't need to improve language to improve that type of communication. I mean, I try to change it because of just perkele, satana, vittu. I'm sorry, that's the only 3 Finnish words I know. Uutiset I know as well. Sorry for just cursing out in Finnish. Like, yeah, it's... There is not a lot of improvement to do. Just the reason I try to do those changes anyhow is just for the fun of it. I enjoy it. I think it's, yeah. But, yeah. You don't know what Asa Pate means? Did I pronounce that right? No, I don't think so. Asa Pate. Nope. Helvete, says Node Runner. I know what that means. It means hell. Well, yeah. Comes from the word hel. Helvete. Helvete. Yeah, I've heard Finnish Swedes use that word. It sounds way better. It is do not cover. Asa Pate. Oh, no, I haven't gotten packages like that. We usually the most of the Finnish I see is like on shampoo bottles, on the milk, or on the news. Uutiset, that's news. Yeah, and of course swear words, curse words, swear words. I think I like better. Helvete is a very common interjection in Swedish. Helvete. But how? She told you that we just disappear, right? I did not answer. Well, I can't be sure she's lying. Maybe she just doesn't know everything. But what I said is true. You and I were here many times. Of course, I've been here more times, but that doesn't matter. Well, from her perspective, she doesn't know the difference, right? If she is in all the worlds, she wouldn't know the difference from one new pioneer from another pioneer, right? Well, if there is a distinction between this Semyon and our character Semyon, like every time he shows up, if there's a difference in the world, I don't see why there would be a multiverse Semyon. It kind of feels like since they're all the same, maybe Semyon is always, it's just one Semyon, right? Just split into so many different ways that, like our Semyon, like our journeys have been just one branch. Like just like we have played many different small branches, like this dude and us is different branches as well. Colgate InnoTab says, I thought you'd seen it in Radiators. No, I don't spend a lot of time looking at Radiators though. Don't think it says anything on my Radiator. I have an old ass Radiator. I don't think there's any warnings. But I'm guessing that it says that, right? It's probably Swedish, Finnish, German, English. Is usually the language we get on stuff like that, I think. I'm not sure though. I haven't paid a lot of attention, so it's guesswork. Okay, then why don't I remember anything? Valid question. You will remember them all sometime later. That's what happened to me. And you're telling me that there's no escape from here? Yes, I am. I remember you told me what happened today had never happened before, right? True, this is the first time. And how can you explain that? I won't. You're hoping that something will change. No way it will. We'll see about that. I decisively turned and walked away. Nice. To my surprise, the pioneers did not even try to stop me. Oh, let's put that into lunchtime. A final note on that language discussion that I want to leave you with. I am of the idea that like grammar is not prescriptive. I think like words in a language, even though I have that urge to prescribe to another person what the language should mean, I really have that urge. I know, and I guess a lot of people do have that urge that other people should define words the same way that I define words. But I don't think language can be prescriptive. It's like when we decide what a word means, we do need to have a pragmatic approach, like almost statistical, well, scientific approach, looking at it. What does it mean? So one could argue that my definition of the word democracy is maybe a terrible idea. Maybe democracy is a form of government. Maybe it's just an umbrella term for different types of government. Maybe I need to come up with a different word to describe what I call democracy. But I'm not creative like that. Maybe Banana Waffle Monkey, who knows a lot, like Latin and stuff like that, could come up with a word that but it's like it's people rule, right? That is the basis of the word democracy. The people rule. That is what happens, right? Colgate in on tab says mine has Danish, Finnish, Swedish, Russian, German, French, Norwegian, English, Icelandic, and one language I don't recognize. Look at that. Well, I've seen some things that has all of those as well, right? Like the ones that you're talking about, Colgate in on tap. Those are probably the same. They're selling the same versions for us and you, right? So those things that you're talking about are probably the same in Sweden and in Denmark and in Finland and in Russia and in Germany and in France, right? Probably. Maybe it's Gaelic since it's all European, right? Portuguese, maybe? Gaelic doesn't some. No, the British do their own thing, right? Yeah, maybe Portuguese because that looks kind of different, right? There's no Spanish, French, but no Spanish or Italian. Maybe one of the Baltic languages, or I don't know. Banana Wolf Monkey says, I think prescriptive grammar serves as a good starting point for someone who wants to start learning a language. Yeah. Like, but it's the same. Like, this is how the language works. You should learn how to use the language as most people use it. So I agree with that, but like for your own language, like maybe a little bit. Sure, I can restart Steam. It's no cubrir. Seems Spanish, maybe Spanish. I don't know. I totally agree. Like for learning, it's like, yeah, I think that's the case in most cases, like in creative stuff or whatever. That when you're learning, it's a good idea to go with the flow and from what other people knows. And also, some people learn better from grammar and some people don't. When you're learning a language, says Notrunner, there's nobody who expressly tells you what every word means. Well, in the first... No, yeah, exactly. As a child, you infer it from hearing it. Yep, first language, yes. When you learn a second language, you usually start out with direct translations. Yeah, as a child. It's so fun. I have a niece now who's just learning, like she knows mom, she knows dad. Negotiation of meaning. I had a professor in English who was all on and on about negotiation of meaning. I like that. Negotiation of meaning. That is communication. If you manage to do that, you're doing communication well, in my mind, in my opinion. Yeah. All right, but I've got to go. It's lunchtime. I guess I see you tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out.